This training covers Chapter 14, General Requirements for Multi-Site Sponsors. This training is presented by the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs, also known as ODE-CMP. In this training, we will go over what is considered a multi-site sponsor, how and when to add and inactivate sites, and the additional requirements for multi-site sponsors, including annual bank statement verifications and site monitoring. After you are done with this training, we hope that you will know who is considered to be a multi-site sponsor and understand the general requirements of a multi-site sponsor. What is a multi-site sponsor anyway? A multi-site sponsor is a child nutrition program sponsor with more than one CACFP approved site. A site is a location with its own physical address which administers reimbursable meals for CACFP. Sites can be divided into affiliated sites and unaffiliated sites. An affiliated site is a center or site location that is owned in whole or in part by a CACFP sponsoring organization. An unaffiliated site is a center or site location that is legally distinct from its sponsoring organization. To become a multi-site sponsor, a sponsor must first add more than one site to its agreement with ODE-CMP. Sponsors are allowed to add new sites at any time during the year, although sponsors must have the site approved by ODE-CMP before CACFP meals can be served for reimbursement at the site. Once the site is no longer in use for CACFP, sponsors must inactivate a site by submitting an Inactivate Site form to ODE-CMP and follow their assigned child nutrition specialist instructions to fully inactivate their site application. While inactivating a site can be a fairly quick process, adding a CACFP site will require some forethought. There are a few things to keep in mind before adding a new CACFP site. First is timing. Sponsors must notify ODE-CMP of the new site at least 2 weeks before starting operations at the site. Having at least 2 weeks ensures that your assigned child nutrition specialist has enough time to work with you on getting all the documents you need submitted and approved. Some of the documents include an Add Modify Site form to get the site on CMP Web. The assigned specialist may also request documentation based on the sponsor program type, including eligibility documentation. Sponsors must train all site staff on CACFP duties and document all trainings prior to operating CACFP at a new site and complete a pre-approval visit. Once all of this is completed, the assigned specialist must first approve the site in CMP Web prior to the start of CACFP operations. It can be a lot of tasks to complete, so it's important to give yourself and your specialist enough time to work through this so you can be approved before your first planned CACFP meal service. As a multi-site sponsor, there are a few additional requirements that must be completed that is not required for single-site sponsors. These are annual bank statement verifications, although these are not required for school food authorities either, and site monitoring, which is required for all multi-site sponsors. The annual bank statement verification is required due to 7 CFR 226.7b1, which requires state agencies to review bank statements of all non-school food authority multi-site sponsors once a year. The bank statements that are reviewed will only be the ones related to CACFP income and expenses, and ODE-CMP will conduct this review as a desk audit each year that a sponsor does not receive an administrative review. ODE-CMP has a separate bank statement verification training that can be found on the CACFP training page. To complete the annual bank statement verification, sponsors will submit the bank statements for a given month and any supporting documentation showing that CACFP income and expenses are being managed to benefit the service of meals to CACFP participants. Site monitoring is a year-round requirement for multi-site sponsors. It is important for multi-site sponsors to train a site monitor annually. This ensures that site monitors know how to complete site monitoring accurately and within all requirements. Site monitors must not be a site staff at the site they are monitoring, and they must be an employee of the sponsor. These two requirements help to select for a monitor who is responsible to your organization, but also may have a broader perspective than someone who is in the middle of CACFP duties at the site every day. Site monitors are required to complete all required site monitoring over the course of a year. This includes conducting pre-approval visits for any new sites and monitoring all sites at least 3 times a year, including a site visit for new sites within the first 4 weeks of operation. Monitoring visits are active processes and may require follow-up reviews beyond the 3 site monitoring visits in a year if there are corrective actions that need to be checked up on to see if all changes have been put into effect. Additional training on this topic is available in the site monitoring training. Let's try out a quick knowledge check. Which of the following is a CACFP requirement that only multi-site sponsors must complete? Is it A, site monitoring, B, training staff, C, keeping supporting documentation, or D, maintaining a CACFP nonprofit food service account? And the answer is A, site monitoring. Only multi-site sponsors are required to complete site monitoring. However, all sponsors are required to train their staff on CACFP duties, keeping all CACFP supporting documentation, and maintaining a CACFP nonprofit food service account. In this training, we covered the definition of a multi-site sponsor, how to add and inactivate sites, and the additional requirements for multi-site sponsors, specifically related to the annual bank statement verification and site monitoring. ODE supports equity and excellence for every learner. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. Thank you for taking this training.